AFTV Reloaded.
Robbie here from AFTV. How are you all coping with the lockdown that seems to be happening right around the world right now? Oh, it's weird times. But what the lockdown has done is given me a chance to look back at some of the brilliant videos that we've done over the years. And in this Reloaded edition, this is an interview that I did with Johnny Lydon, aka Johnny Rotten, one of the legends of punk rock music. He came over into the UK and I caught up with him. And this fantastic interview just has to be watched again. This is from the year 2015 and it's still brilliant. Check it out. Here with John Lydon, and the reason why I'm interviewing, listen, we know about his music, we know he's the godfather when it comes to punk rock, but what I want to speak to you about is Arsenal, because that's one of your loves and one of your passions. I know you live in LA now, but first of all, do you still get to watch a lot of the games?
In America, you can watch every single game. An American football audience is a really superbly educated one. It's a shame that this is the home of soccer, but you've got to go to the US to really understand it.
Serious? I mean, because, you know, you get some of our fans over here sometimes saying, plastic, they're plastic.
How many games can you see here? These kids, I mean, they're picking it up now from a ground roots level. They're going to take soccer over the US.
You reckon?
Oh, we've watched Team USA, haven't we? Might make England look a bit dosspot, you know, and it's going to happen. The enthusiasm is superb. You can go to any town in America and you'll find, like, for instance, with our team, there'll be a Gooner pub and it will be rammed. And they won't be moronic in there. They'll be talking proper sense. And as we were discussing earlier, they know more details than we do. I mean, they make us train spotters look silly.
Now, listen, how long have you been supporting Arsenal? How long?
Since I was somewhere between 4 and 5, not quite sure. But my dad decided it was time I learned that the local team was Arsenal and dragged me off. And from that moment onwards, the pageantry of it, the colours, the ferocity and the noise and every single aspect of it. Had not much idea what was going on the pitch, but you're involved with lots of people, right? That's it. That's your humanity right there. Love it. Never lost that.
You kind of, listen, you're always on tour as well as now living in LA. Do you miss it? Do you miss that sort of vibe of the fans, you know, everybody together?
Yeah, for me growing up, the North Bank, that was community. It was everyone for our manor, you know. You could go in any direction, it would be like family, friends, neighbours. It was really very, very important about the vibe of the club. For me, that was the driving force and the engine of it. They didn't always have to make the biggest noise. I mean, one of the best Arsenal chants I ever heard, and Rambo taught me this, he goes, "We're Arsenal, we sing for no one."
Now listen. Favourite players and teams and that over the years. I mean, who's been that for you?
Off the top of my head, I'd have to say Bob Wilson was the most classiest gentleman ever, and the way he played and a sense of sportsmanship in it. I mean, he gave us real total class, and as a young kid, that was like watching your favourite sports teacher showing you how it should be done. I got to have conversations with him years later. You know, he was raising money for different funds and stuff.
He does lots of charity work, doesn't he?
No, and I helped out in it a bit, and he sent me this really excellent poster. And on it, of course, is like, you know, signatures from like Frank McClintock and things. I mean, I took my breath away, you know. I'm still a little kid, you know, and our double winners team will be forever in my mind. There's nothing that's ever going to beat that.
What about the Invincibles? Or do you sort of preferred like that George Graham era, that sort of?
Yeah, because that was when I was younger. The Invincibles, it was a thrill. But if you really remember that season, there were some dour moments, weren't there? Some dodgy 0-0s. It was painful. You know. But this is what being an Arsenal supporter is like. I mean, we're always on the edge of complete disaster. And maybe that's what sport's supposed to do to you. Is you know?
I don't know. Sometimes
draw you in. I don't know. Don't get me on Wenger.
Let me get you on Wenger. I mean, your mate there, Rambo, was just saying earlier that don't get John started on Wenger. What's up with Wenger? What's wrong with him?
I've had enough of that. You know, it's nonsense. You can't keep repeating the same errors over and over again. You can't be taking them humiliating, ridiculous defeats from what is allegedly your competition and consistently do nothing about it. For me, it began with not replacing Vieira. But even before that, how could Vieira want to leave? Well, he sussed something, didn't he?
With Wenger, right? He has won 2 FA Cups back to back recently. Though. He's starting to reverse it a bit. What do you think of that?
What on earth's the FA Cup, really?
When you was back in the day, that would have been a massive for you.
No, that was then, but this is now. Okay, we got 2 of them. Right, enough, all right already. I want that League Cup. How about you? Except it's not a League Cup, is it? Was it the Coca-Cola Egg Cup or something?
But mind you, I want to win it this time. We're playing Spurs in it, so I want to do them to get by.
It's going to be a good one. Let's see how many tickets they allocate to our lot.
Well, it's got to be more than the usual allocation because it is a cup game. But
Not much more. They've never been generous.
We're going back to Wenger.
If I see them roll over like they did the last time against that squalid, like, imitation team, I mean, really, get the bazookas out. It's absurd. It is. He's incapable of listening or learning. I suppose a great way, if you want to discuss it battle-wise, is Agincourt. He's them French ponces that come charging down the hill, like go, arrows? I don't see no arrows. Yeah, you met them though, didn't you? No, and then them clowns, what was left of them, the French man-hooded knights, they went back up the hill. What they do? They came straight back down again, and that's what Wenger does. Plan A, but it's not plan at all, is it? It seems to be like a Sunday kickabout team. Great quality players, but they're not relating to each other with any great sense of skill or depth. And everybody seems incapable of making that final commitment called shoot it at goal. Oof, there. The point and purpose of it.
So listen, John, if I was interviewing after a game, would you?
Claude, I'd be worse than Claude even to begin with. I'm a pre-moaner, me. We're doomed. Oh, it's going to be worse than the week before. I know it.
So if we got rid of Wenger, who would you like to see come in? What sort of, which manager out there? Or
Claude.
Then we'd be in real trouble. Come on.
Yes, we'd moan our way to the bottom of the league in a heartbeat. I don't know, but there's something really wrong and crooked with it. I don't know if Thierry Henry's an answer. After listening to his TV punditry, seems a bit clueless to me.
So not Thierry. Dennis Bergkamp, maybe he's doing a decent job at the moment over in Holland.
Yeah, that's a particular player I loved the way he played. I watched that fella Sunday. He'd draw 3 or 4 defenders in and still squeak the ball through. And through the keyhole with that fella. Why haven't we got any more of that? Some of the lads on that pitch can actually play that way.
Mesut Ozil?
A bit slow on the uptake is the fella, but he has good eyes for the perfect pass. The point is, for instance, could you really rely on, we call him Forrest Gump, it's Theo Walcott to you. Can you rely on him to get into a clear position? I've never seen him be able to, get away from a defender, and Emma's right there, in front of goal. All he's ever good for is running, and that takes us to the Forrest Gump thing, because Forrest would run and run and run and run. I don't know if he's a footballer or not. I know he writes good children's novels, according to the last press blurb I heard.
Listen, I can tell that you're still well into it. over there. I mean,
yeah.
you know, I can just imagine you watching it and just be so passionate watching the Arsenal over there in LA.
I've got a front room just full of scarves. That's me. Like, it's just any time I hear anyone come back to London, I like, get me something. Right, you know, and I'm here now, and of course I go and raid the shop, like, you know, like a 10-year-old. No, I've never lost that keen love and interest of it. I'm in no way skillful enough to be a football player myself. I know that. At best, I could claim to be an anvil. Because, oh, for the school team once, yeah. I was standing around and I forgot what I was even there for, and the ball hit me on the side of the head and we scored and won the game. That's my football achievement. But at least it went in.
It's been an absolute pleasure. You know what? When I walked in the room and you said you watch it, I'm flattered.
Right, I mean, I clued into this in America, so I want every connection I can to the game, and then out comes Arsenal TV, and I'm imagining it was something sponsored by the club, you know, in that deadpan, you know. Do you remember when Lofty used to do that bit? Oh, right. No, it's great. It's brilliant. And then to meet you, I feel really.
It's an honour. It's an absolute honour, and just keep watching Proper Arsenal. Next time you come back, come and have a chat with us, please. As I said, it's been an absolute honour to be speaking to you today. You know, this guy is, as we know, one of the legends of the British music industry, and a gooner.
Oh, forever.
The coronavirus has not just affected the world of football, but has affected everybody. But you know what? We can defeat it. There are some steps we can take. Number one, always make sure you wash your hands thoroughly. Number two, if you cough or sneeze, make sure you catch it in a tissue and dispose of it afterwards. And number three, if you're displaying any of the symptoms, always make sure that you self-isolate. I know it's a terrible time, but we will defeat the coronavirus. We will be back.